Picture this. You walk into a grocery store, spot a carton of eggs, and feel a little sense of comfort. Fresh, safe, healthy. The label says farm fresh, cage-free, maybe even organic. The carton looks clean, the promise looks honest. But behind that polished packaging, there's a quiet story the label doesn't tell, one that could affect both your health and your wallet. Today, we're breaking down the hidden truths about eggs, and the first one might change how you shop forever. Stick around till the end. We're not just exposing what's wrong, we're showing you how to protect yourself. Secret hashtag 7. The freshness illusion. You walk down the egg aisle, scan a few cartons, and trust the printed date. It says fresh. But here's the twist. That date may not be telling you the full truth. Those sell-by, best-by, or X dates are usually for inventory control, not your safety. Eggs can be packed, shipped, and shelved for weeks before you ever see them. USDA rules give retailers wide flexibility, so the fresh eggs in your fridge might actually be a month old before you crack them open. And that's a problem most shoppers never realize. Stored right, eggs can stay safe for several weeks, but quality begins to drop long before that. What this means at home. You buy what looks spotless, but 2 weeks later, the yolks flatten, the whites turn watery, and something smells a little off. That's age showing itself. Old eggs also develop larger air pockets and thinner shells, making it easier for bacteria like salmonella to sneak through tiny pores. For seniors or anyone with a weaker immune system, that invisible risk can turn a normal breakfast into a hospital visit. A carton labeled fresh might actually hold 30, 45-day-old eggs, and that's a risk nobody bargains for. The pack code truth. Most cartons include a hidden 3-digit code called a Julian date, showing the real packing date. That's your key to the truth. If you can't find that code, assume the eggs may already be several weeks old. The USDA recommends using eggs within 3 to 5 weeks of purchase, not months. Some state rules cap the window at 45 days after packing. That's far shorter than most people expect. The sensory test. Even a perfect-looking shell can deceive you. A yolk that spreads flat, a faint off odor, or a shell that feels too thin, those are signs your eggs are past their prime. And as eggs age, nutrient quality declines, which matters even more for seniors or people recovering from illness. Smart shopping for seniors. Look for the pack date or Julian code and choose the newest carton available. Keep eggs in the coldest part of your refrigerator, not the door. Use them within 3 to 5 weeks after the packing date. Crack and smell test before cooking. Cook thoroughly. Egg dishes should reach at least 160 degrees F, 71 degrees C. For anyone frail or immune-compromised, use pasture-raised egg products in recipes that call for raw or lightly cooked eggs. These small steps help ensure fresh actually means safe. When was the last time you checked the Julian date on your carton? Drop the brand and tell us if you found the code, or if this is the first time you've heard about it. Remember, fresh is marketing. The pack date is truth. And for seniors, those few extra days can be the difference between a healthy morning and an unnecessary clinic visit. Secret #6. The cage-free mirage. You see cage-free on a label and picture sunny fields, green grass, and hens pecking freely under open skies. The reality? Often, it's just a bigger barn with thousands of birds inside. In the U.S., cage-free only means hens aren't kept in tiny battery cages. It doesn't guarantee outdoor space, fresh air, or low crowding. Many cage-free operations still confine hens in overcrowded indoor barns where birds live wing to wing under artificial light. The welfare gain is small, and disease risk can even rise when so many animals share one enclosed space. Government definitions allow this, and that's why cage-free can sound comforting but still look nothing like the image it sells. The bright yolk and rustic label may sell you peace of mind, but the system behind it remains industrial, not idyllic. From a health view, the crowding cost. When hens are packed tightly indoors, disease spreads faster, and that pressure often pushes producers to use more antibiotics. For seniors or anyone on multiple prescriptions, that matters. Frequent antibiotic use in poultry can contribute to antimicrobial resistance and may leave trace residues that interact with common medications. Over time, that combination can quietly add to your chemical load and reduce your body's defenses. So, the cage-free premium you're paying might be buying better marketing, not necessarily better health. Investigations and consumer watchdogs have shown huge differences between cage-free, free-range, and pasture-raised systems. If lower antibiotic use or humane conditions are your priorities, third-party verification is the only way to be sure. What to watch for? Cage-free only means no battery cages. It says nothing about outdoor access or flock size. Free-range or pasture-raised generally implies outdoor time, but definitions vary by certifier. To cut antibiotic-related risks, look for certified programs that test and audit farms for low or no antibiotic use. At farmers markets, don't hesitate to ask how many hens share a barn, whether they go outside, and how often antibiotics are used. For older adults, these extra questions can make the difference between truly safer eggs and ones that simply sound ethical. Did you always assume cage-free meant hens outdoors and open fields? Tell us where you shop and if you'd like a quick label cheat sheet for your next grocery trip. Because paying more for cage-free often buys a nicer image, not necessarily a healthier egg. If animal welfare or lower disease risk really matter to you, look for verified claims, detailed farm information, or trusted pasture-raised sources. Secret #5: the hidden chemical wash. That spotless white shell on the supermarket shelf didn't come from nature. It came from a sanitizing bath. In the U.S., commercial egg processors must wash and sanitize eggs before they're packed for sale. Chlorine or similar approved solutions are commonly used, followed by a disinfecting rinse as part of USDA grading. This process removes visible dirt and fecal matter, but it also strips away the natural cuticle, the thin protective layer that keeps bacteria out. Regulators allow washing because the American system relies on a 1-2 punch, washing plus constant refrigeration. But experts still debate the trade-offs. Across the Atlantic, a different rule book. In most of Europe, grade A eggs aren't washed at all. The European Union prefers to leave the natural cuticle intact and focus instead on farm-level vaccination and hygiene. Because of that, European eggs can safely sit at room temperature for a short period, while U.S. eggs must stay refrigerated from farm to fridge. EU regulators explicitly discourage washing since it can damage the shell and increase contamination risk if drying or storage slips. What this means for seniors. In the U.S., washing with chlorine or other sanitizers is perfectly legal, but those chemicals, even within safe limits, add to your lifetime exposure. That matters if your kidneys or liver already work harder than average. And once that cuticle is gone, your eggs rely completely on a perfect cold chain. Any break in refrigeration gives bacteria like Salmonella room to grow. So, a sparkling clean shell can actually signal greater dependence on cold storage, not safety. Smart moves for shoppers. Buying from a local farmer. Ask if eggs are unwashed and whether hens are vaccinated and kept clean. Buying from a store. Assume they're washed. Keep them refrigerated at 40 degrees F, 4 degrees C, or lower.
Use eggs within their recommended window and cook thoroughly, especially for seniors or immune-compromised family members. For recipes using raw eggs, like homemade dressings or desserts, switch to pasteurized egg products. Did you know American eggs are washed, but European ones aren't? Would you consider local unwashed eggs if you trusted the farmer's safety practices? Because under that glossy white shell may lie a missing natural barrier. And for seniors, that's not about looks, it's about food safety. Secret hash 4, the labeling maze. The words that sell comfort often skip the facts. You pick up a carton that says farm fresh or all natural, notice the idyllic farm photo, and feel reassured. But most of those words are marketing language, not legally defined standards. The hidden truth behind egg carton promises. Here's the quiet betrayal. Many of the warm, trustworthy words on egg cartons, natural, farm fresh, all natural, or even free range, sound wholesome but often mean very little without independent verification. They're designed to sell comfort, not necessarily guarantee cleaner, safer, or more humane farming. Government and university research shows that shoppers often interpret these words as proof of better animal welfare or health benefits. That belief drives purchases, even though the labels themselves don't have to meet any strict standard. Why it matters, especially for seniors. Those vague claims can distract from the real issues: antibiotic use, vaccination practices, on-farm hygiene, and egg processing methods. A 2024 national survey found that most shoppers believed farm fresh meant hens lived outdoors and eggs were safer. But in reality, that phrase has no legal definition and can appear on products from massive indoor operations. That gap between image and reality can carry serious consequences for older adults, especially those managing chronic illnesses or weaker immune systems. What's at stake isn't marketing, it's foodborne bacteria, antibiotic residues, and weak cold chains, all of which hit seniors harder. The sensory betrayal. You grab a carton decorated with green fields and happy hens, assuming you're buying something pure. Later, you learn those eggs came from a crowded indoor barn where antibiotics were routine. Or worse, the brand was linked to a recall. For someone taking multiple prescriptions, an infection like salmonella or an extra dose of antibiotic residue isn't a small issue. It can lead to hospital visits and medication conflicts. How to avoid the bait and switch. Skip the feel-good buzzwords. Look for specific certifications backed by recognized third parties. Certified organic. Certified pasture-raised. Verified. Animal welfare approved. Check if the brand shares farm or flock details, pack dates, or testing results. Real transparency isn't flashy, it's factual. Smart Shopper's Checklist. If you see cozy words but no certification logo, assume it's marketing. Visit the brand's website to check for info on flock size, outdoor time, vaccinations, and antibiotic use. Favor suppliers that publish independent audit results or allow you to trace where your eggs came from. For seniors, paying a few rupees or dollars more for verified sourcing buys something valuable: clarity and safety, not just a nice label. Which label has confused you the most? Tell us the brand and what you thought it meant. Because pretty packaging doesn't protect your immune system. Facts and proof do. Secret number 3, cholesterol and senior health. Not every yolk tells the same story. You crack an egg, admire that golden center, and think, protein, energy, breakfast done right. But inside that small circle of sunshine lies 186 milligrams of cholesterol, and that can matter more than it seems. Long-term research published in JAMA found that eating even half an extra egg a day was linked to higher risks of heart disease and premature death, especially in older adults or those with existing heart issues. For seniors who already face greater cardiovascular strain, that extra cholesterol is no small detail. Breaking it down simply. If you add an extra egg daily to an already cholesterol-rich diet, the long-term impact may quietly build up. It's not instant harm. It's a slow, subtle effect that depends on your overall health, medications, and metabolism. Food labels that shout high in protein often whisper about cholesterol in tiny print. That's why seniors on heart, cholesterol, or diabetes medication should talk to their doctors about a safe weekly limit. The taste trap. That rich, creamy yolk may feel comforting, but over time it can nudge your heart in the wrong direction. Practical choices for seniors. Don't cut out eggs completely, but use them strategically. If you have heart disease or diabetes, limit whole eggs and use egg whites for clean protein. Try one yolk mixed with multiple whites for an omelet that's lighter but still satisfying. Always pair eggs with vegetables or whole grains, not processed meats. Did you know a single egg has nearly 200 milligrams of cholesterol? Have your habits changed after learning that? Because one egg a day may seem harmless, but over time, your heart keeps the score. Secret number 2, Salmonella's silent threat. The next danger is invisible. You can't see it, you can't smell it, and that clean-looking shell might not tell the whole story. Recent multi-state outbreaks and recalls prove that this isn't a thing of the past. In 2025 alone, the FDA and CDC tracked several large-scale salmonella incidents linked to millions of eggs and dozens of confirmed illnesses, some severe enough to require hospitalization. Health officials found a consistent pattern. Most people who got sick had eaten eggs or egg-based dishes in the days before symptoms appeared. For younger adults, that can mean a few miserable days of cramps and fever. But for seniors, the same infection can trigger dangerous dehydration, kidney stress, or extended hospital stays. Why it keeps happening. Salmonella remains one of the leading causes of foodborne illness in the U.S., with hundreds of thousands of cases every year. Eggs are often part of the story. Not because consumers are careless, but because contamination can occur anywhere in the supply chain. When a batch goes bad, it doesn't stay local. Modern distribution means a single problem can spread across multiple states before anyone notices. That's why egg recalls are so big and so fast, and why staying alert matters, especially for older adults. Practical steps to stay safe. Here's how seniors and caregivers can lower their risk. Avoid cracked or dirty shells. They're easier for bacteria to penetrate. Can skip raw or runny eggs in dishes like homemade mayo, cookie dough, or soft scrambled eggs for vulnerable individuals. Check. Use pasture-raised egg products when a recipe calls for raw or lightly cooked eggs. Check recall notices before using any carton. Contamination can hit stores before products are officially pulled. Have you ever discovered a recalled egg brand in your fridge? Tell us how you found out. It might help someone else catch it next time. The takeaway: Salmonella hides where it's least expected. For seniors, it's more than a stomach bug. It can become a full-blown health emergency. Secret number 1. The label that blurs the truth. Now for the biggest reveal, the label that lets the system gamble with your trust. You glance at the carton, see sell-by, best before, or pasteurized, and assume you're protected. The betrayal? Those markings don't always mean what you think. 1. The date dilemma. The bold sell-by or use-by dates are designed for store inventory, not consumer safety. They tell retailers when to rotate stock, not when your eggs expire. The real freshness clue is the Julian pack code, a 3-digit number showing the exact day of the year the eggs were washed, graded, and packed. Without checking that code, you might be taking home eggs that were packed weeks earlier.
Experts recommend using refrigerated eggs within 3 to 5 weeks of the packing date. Beyond that, freshness and safety both start to slip, especially for seniors, whose bodies can't bounce back easily from foodborne illness.
2. The pasteurization trap. Pasteurized shell eggs do exist. They're gently heated to kill salmonella without cooking the egg, and they're much safer for recipes that use raw or soft eggs.
But here's the catch. Not every carton that says pasteurized is widely available or properly labeled. And even pasteurized eggs need to stay refrigerated and handled correctly.
Regulators like the FDA and USDA say pasteurized egg products, liquid eggs, or pre-treated mixes are the safest choice for high-risk groups, especially when the recipe skips full cooking. 3. The recall reality. Even big brands with spotless packaging and government inspections have had major recalls. In recent years, millions of eggs were pulled from shelves, sometimes after illnesses were already spreading.
Supply chains move faster than recall systems, meaning the carton you grab today could be part of tomorrow's alert. For seniors, that's not a small gamble. It's the kind that can land someone in the ER.
The bottom line. A clean carton doesn't always mean a clean bill of health. Every egg on the shelf carries a hidden timer and a supply chain you can't see. Next time you shop, check the Julian date, store eggs cold, and never assume that sell-by equals safe. Because a promise printed on a carton isn't protection, real knowledge is. Did you know sell-by isn't the true freshness date?
Share where you shop and whether you've ever looked for the pack code. It might surprise you.
You made it this far. That means you care about safer choices.
Here's a simple checklist to keep on your fridge. Always check pack or Julian dates.
Keep eggs cold at all times. Avoid raw or undercooked eggs for seniors. Choose pasteurized when in doubt.
Because when it comes to eggs, freshness isn't what the label says, it's what you verify.
Egg safety made simple, what every shopper should know. 1. Start with the pack date, not the pretty label.
Every egg carton in the U.S. shows 2 dates, sell-by or use-by, and the lesser-known pack date, also called the Julian date.
That's the one that really matters. It tells you when the eggs were cleaned, graded, and packed. For example, a carton stamped 032 means it was packed on February 1. Always pick the carton with the highest number. That's the freshest batch. When refrigerated properly, eggs stay at their best for 3 to 5 weeks after that date. Beyond that, flavor and texture decline, and bacteria have a chance to grow. For seniors or anyone with a weaker immune system, treat that pack date as your main safety guide, not the marketing label. 2. Ignore buzzwords. Trust real certifications.
Cartons covered in phrases like farm fresh, natural, or all natural might sound nice, but they mean nothing legally. They're just marketing fluff.
Instead, look for verified certifications that actually stand for something.
USDA Organic confirms specific farming and inspection standards.
Certified Humane or Animal Welfare Approved, backed by independent organizations.
Pasteurized, essential if you're at higher risk of infection.
A pack code or traceable farm name is even better. The takeaway? Feel-good words don't protect you. Traceable systems do.
3. Use pasteurized eggs for raw or lightly cooked recipes.
If your recipe calls for raw or semi-cooked eggs,
Think Caesar dressing, hollandaise, eggnog, or homemade mayo, switch to pasteurized eggs. They've been gently heated to kill bacteria without cooking the egg, making them much safer to eat. This rule is extra important when cooking in bulk. Crack many eggs into one bowl, and one bad egg can spoil the entire batch. Seniors and anyone with chronic conditions should always go pasteurized. They might cost more, but a doctor's visit costs far more than that. 4. Don't wash store-bought eggs at home. U.S. eggs are already washed and sanitized before they hit the shelf. Washing them again at home can do more harm than good. Scrubbing can push bacteria through the shell. Instead, keep them cold and dry. For unwashed farm eggs, rinse gently with warm water just before using, then dry them right away. Never soak eggs. Standing water invites bacteria in. Washing them too early also removes the natural protective coating that keeps them safe. 5. Check recalls and alerts. It takes 60 seconds. Egg recalls are surprisingly common, sometimes affecting millions of cartons. Contaminated eggs often reach homes before recalls are announced. Stay alert. Both the CDC and FDA post recall updates online. If a recall happens, compare your carton's plant number and pack date with the notice. If they match, toss them or return them. A minute of checking could save you from weeks of foodborne illness, especially for older adults. 6. Buy local, but ask questions. Farm fresh can be great, but don't assume local means safe. Ask your seller, are the hens vaccinated against salmonella? How often are eggs collected? Are they washed or unwashed? What kind of feed is used? If the farmer answers confidently and provides pack dates, that's transparency. If they dodge the questions, skip it. Honesty matters more than charm. 7. For seniors, choose safer swaps. Older adults or anyone with a health condition should take extra care. Even clean, well-stored eggs can still pose risks. When in doubt, use pasteurized egg products or carton egg whites. Both are safe, ready to pour, and bacteria-free. For extra protein, swap eggs with Greek yogurt or cottage cheese in non-egg-heavy recipes. And if you do cook eggs, make sure both yolks and whites are firm before serving. Quick Egg Safety Cheat Sheet. Buy. Newest pack date. Verified certifications. Pasteurized if using raw. Store. Keep in carton at or below 40 degrees F, 4C. Use within 3 to 5 weeks. Avoid cracked eggs, vague labels, and raw dishes for seniors. You now know what most shoppers don't: how to read the fine print the egg industry hopes you'll ignore. They count on confusion, now you've got clarity. So what surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Next week's story might just protect your health, your wallet, or someone you love.